Hey, what's up, everybody? I know, I just did a video yesterday. Um, I was going to, I kind of was inspired to at least start, or at least kind of get in the mindset of making videos, because of, um, talking with a commenter on one of my videos about the nitrous oxide nerve damage. I was thinking about doing kind of, a redo of, my kind of talking about nitrous oxide and my experiences, with the addiction, the mental health, psychosis, mania, the after effects with the nerve damage, and how my recovery went. But I kind of want to save that. I really want to kind of be in the best state of mind possible, or at least try to be as coherent and linear as possible, and really explain a lot of details, because I since doing these videos, especially my nitrous oxide videos, I've gotten quite I'm glad people are asking or commenting and asking questions, but it's sad that other people are going through the same thing that I went through in terms of heavy nitrous oxide use and nerve damage, or after the aftermath of heavy nitrous oxide. So I'm not happy about that, but I am glad though that people do have at least something that they can kind of ask questions about. So that is on my to-do list, hopefully soon. Like I said, I was gonna possibly do it right now, but I just want to make sure that I can explain it the best way possible. But I did want to do a video, at least to, like I said yesterday, hold myself accountable. I did say I'd make another video by the end of Sunday, so already crossing that goal off the list. But also I want to, like I said as well, be more consistent in making videos. That way, it's just helpful for me to kind of just talk. It's not that I enjoy hearing myself talk. I mean, I talk to myself, off camera, but it's just still nice to just, I don't know, just put out something that other people can see, and like I said yesterday too, it's like it helps me practice honesty and transparency. It's like, yeah, I'm not directly talking to somebody, but I am putting this in a format where other people can see. So good way of practicing that, but just want to practice that consistency and get practice with articulating myself a little bit better. And also, like I said in the video last night, I should probably do videos earlier in the day. So right now it's 10:47 a.m., which is probably why I'm a little more energetic and explain myself a little bit better, but still want to wait a little bit longer because I really want to go in depth, with a lot of the facets, and go over the longer history of my use with nitrous oxide, because it does go back quite a bit. It wasn't until more recently that I had my most significant and damaging binge, which ended up with the nerve damage. But I have used it somewhat heavily in the past before, and it has affected my mental health in terms of having that mania and psychosis, and especially paranoia. But I'm going to get into that later. That's kind of one of the things that I feel would help to write that outline, and at least some bullet points. I did, in preparation, I did pull up some, receipts to help with a timeline. Like I have the date when I flew to see my parents. My parents flew me out to see them because of what was going on. And that's especially important because I only stayed there for a day. I was just so paranoid, having capgras delusions that they were imposters. So I only stayed there a day, flew back, and then the nerve damage when I was first unable to walk or stand is what happened the morning after getting back. So that's why that's kind of an important date. And then also I have my visit from the emergency department, which I didn't want to go to because I knew it was pointless. But I guess it is helpful. They did do blood draw. It's interesting. My vitamin B12 was okay, but they also did a test called methylmalonic acid, which was like super duper high. I mean, looking at right now, it's 41. 4,152 nanomoles per liter. Standard range is 87 to 318. So over 10 times the high limit of, the within normal limits reference range. So I'm going to leave it at that. I almost want to, but no, I'm not going to. I really want to do it justice, especially since I do get quite a lot of comments and questions, and I want to make sure I have at least one video that's really solid in explaining everything. But like I said, I just want to kind of have at least some video talking about something just to kind of hold me accountable and practice with the consistency and practice talking. So I was thinking about like a topic to do for this video. Nothing really came to mind. But I guess kind of thinking about it, I guess, I don't know, there are some things that I was thinking about talking, like, the stigma that's attached to addiction and mental health. Also, I was thinking about talking about kind of the disease models, or like the pathophysiology behind addiction. Actually, yeah, I guess I'll kind of talk about that a little bit. Let me say I'm not an expert on anything, so please don't take any of these videos, as like 100% truth. Do your own research, like I said, or always say. But it's interesting with addiction. There's a few different thought processes, or I guess philosophies, if you want to call it that, in terms of what spurs addiction or addictive behaviors. One, of course, is the disease model, where addiction is a disease of the brain, similar to diabetes being a disease of your metabolism. And there's a lot of evidence. What I will say is I'm kind of ascribed to both of these camps and kind of make my own, and I'll get into that in just a little bit. But yeah, I'll break these down first. So, disease model, as you continue to use substances, it essentially rewires your brain's reward pathways. And as you continue to use substances, it kind of ingrains in your brain as a survival thing. It affects the same pathways that, food and sex, those behaviors that were, likely designed to keep us alive and keep us to prosper and procreate, because eating is pleasurable. We need to eat to survive. Sexual intercourse, is pleasurable, keep the human race going. So yeah, with the substance use, it hijacks that system. So after a while, it becomes like, at least on your like very basic brain function, a way of survival. If I don't drink, then people might not outright like say it like this, but essentially it's like, I'm gonna die if I don't drink or use, or at the very least I'm gonna be completely miserable. And of course, sometimes, depending on the substance and how heavily you're using it, it actually is life or death. If you're a heavy alcoholic, or user of benzodiazepines, the withdrawal from those can be fatal. You'll end up having seizures, DTs, seizures, and die. So I guess with those, it kind of is, eventually does become a literal sense of survival. But I'm just talking more about kind of just like that desire to continue to use, despite there being negative consequences and despite a desire to stop using, we're fighting against our innate biology that was hijacked and working against us. So I like that because it makes sense, at least having a decent understanding of the human body and the brain. But I don't like it. I don't think there's a lot of people that argue this, but one way I can kind of, because I try to look at all of this objectively, one way that someone might perceive it or maybe argue against that is, possibly taking away accountability or responsibility from somebody. South Park has a really good episode. I forgot which one it was, but I think Randy gets a DUI and then has to do like go to AA meetings as part of his like court thing, and in the meetings they're like, oh, I'm powerless against alcohol, which is one of the proponents of AA and NA is admitting that you have a problem with alcohol or substance use, and then admitting that it's made your life unmanageable and you are not able to manage it, and therefore you turn your will and life to a higher power to have them, I guess it depends on your, I like to think of it as giving you that strength or giving you that ability. But some people are just like, no, it's completely in their hands, but I won't get into that. But it's funny. So Randy comes home, Evan, he's like drinking, and Stan, his son, is like, Dad, you're not supposed to be drinking. He's like, I'm sick. I'm powerless. So that's, I don't mean to laugh too. I mean, it's incredibly difficult, addiction. But I just kind of funny. That's like a hyperbolic, example. But again, well, I guess on that note, so the other train of thought is more of seeing addiction as a moral or behavioral thing and choice, which again, I ascribe to, and I combine the two of them. It's like, well, we have free will, we are in charge of the decisions we make. And this isn't just with addiction. Well, I was going to say food. I've been watching a lot of this one YouTube channel about, she makes great videos. I'm not going to like name drop, but, so I guess I'm kind of in that mindset, but I mean, food can be an addiction as well. But I guess here I'm talking more about substance use. But there's some people that are like, well, that's a moral thing. That's a behavioral thing. You have total control of that. And therefore it's like, it's not a disease. You're just a bad person, or, maybe you're not a bad person, but you're making bad choices. And this is all your fault. Which again, like I said, I mean, I agree to that somewhat. The way I kind of have my own model, and, this isn't to disagree with anyone. We all are entitled to our own opinions and perspectives, because of just what we were taught and how we grew up and how we've lived our lives. Our lived experiences definitely shape our critical thinking. But I take a little bit of both. Like for me, I do believe that it is, like the disease model is true. That does play a lot into substance use. But also, I do believe, we do have a choice. At the end of the day, I do have a choice. I mean, if I want to, I could go out and get alcohol right now and drink. But I'm making that choice not to. But where I can kind of combine them is, it's like, yeah, I have a choice. Or yes, someone that has a challenge of addiction and substance abuse, yes, they have a choice, but as you continue to use that substance or substances, that choice becomes much, much, much more difficult to choose not to. So it's like, yeah, they still have a choice, or, at the end of the day, I've always had a choice, but when you're that deep in an addiction, making that right choice is so much more difficult. Because I like it too, because it's like, it still ascribes accountability and responsibility, but I don't think it's because someone's a bad person or someone is just making bad selfish decisions. They're kind of held hostage by their own neurochemistry. But again, there is still that choice. It's just a very difficult choice to make. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't know. Like I said, I don't disagree with anyone. I mean, we're all have our own thoughts, which is I totally respect. But yeah, I just wanted to make a video. I almost want to talk more, but it's like I don't want to just ramble here for too long. Maybe I'll save some of this, hopefully do a video tomorrow or something. But at the very least, it is nice to do back-to-back videos and practice a little bit more. I feel that I've been able to articulate my thoughts a little bit better. Again, it probably helps that it's early in the day. Had some caffeine. This is actually extremely good. You know, I'm not sponsored or product placement, but really tasty. Pretty good in terms of energy too. I like it because the Planet Fitness that my home gym is currently, there's a grocery outlet that's literally right next to it. So sometimes I'll stop in and buy some stuff there. But these things were 50 cents, which is super killer because it's like, you know, I tend to drink, I like Rock Stars, and the cheapest you'll find those is like $1.50 a can. You know, a lot of places will do like a two for $3, which is a good price. But 50 cents, I mean, yeah, that's pretty spectacular. And also, got these bad boys too, like a protein shake with caffeine. So that's a win-win. But yeah, like I said, just, I don't know, just wanted to talk a little bit and practice my speaking, I guess. Plus also, well, it's 11 now. I have my circle at the Recovery Cafe at 1. I'm going to do that on Zoom. So that's going to be coming up. And then I want to eat before I do the circle. So that way, by the time the circle gets out, I can head down to the gym. Because I like to wait like an hour and a half after my last meal. I do want to eat before working out. I don't like working out on an empty stomach. I think that can be counterproductive. I guess in certain situations, but you know, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, so I need to do that and then yeah, go work out. So I guess also I don't have a whole bunch of time to dedicate to doing, because the video I'd like to do about the nitrous oxide is probably going to be at least an hour long, if not more, because I really want to go in depth. But again, I want to make sure it's like not perfect, you know, because nothing is ever going to be perfect, but try and make it as best as possible, because I don't want to continue to have to reiterate or like be like, oh, that's not that great, and scrap it or put that up and then end up doing another one down the road. But I think it would be, you know, valuable to talk about my full experience with nitrous oxide, given the fact that I'm, you know, having people comment and ask me questions regarding it, because I've said this before, there just doesn't seem to be that many resources out there that are available for people to learn. I mean, you can kind of learn the basic pathophysiology, like the disease, how it affects your nervous system. But there doesn't seem to be too many personal accounts or personal stories of people that have had it happen and how they've recovered. So that's why I would really like to do that and do a great job at doing it. So, but yeah, thank you for letting me talk, especially talk a little bit more concisely. And more linear than I was last night. I do hope to, I'm not going to commit or promise, because I don't want to do too much. I know it sounds a little silly because it would only be 3 videos total, but I'm not going to commit to doing another one for sure tomorrow, but I would like to do another one tomorrow. I guess I don't really know about what. Maybe I'll think, maybe I'll talk about the stigma, or you know, throughout today, maybe I'll think of a good topic to talk about. At least something that I can focus my conversation about. That way I'm not just completely rambling like I am now. But yeah, I'm not going to promise, but that's my goal. I've been in the near future to do a really full explanation and detail of my nitrous oxide experience. So thank you guys for watching. As always, thank you for subscribing, likes, comments. It really means a lot to me, and it helps kind of grow this channel. So hopefully more people can see it. And of course feed my ego. No, I'm just kidding. No, but it is cool. It's encouraging. Like I said yesterday, it is cool to see people continuing to subscribe and comment, and it's just cool to be part of, have some of the interaction with people. So yeah, thank you guys. I hope you all have a good weekend, because today's Saturday. I know I'm going to have a good weekend, and I will see you guys next time.